grade 7s, and welcome to your mathematics lesson for today, brought to you by WorksheetCloud.com. I hope you guys had a really good long weekend and are ready to tackle the short 3-day week. Just a reminder of the email address that's on your screen right now, grade7@WorksheetCloud.com. Please use it to email me any questions or queries. I received one email over the weekend asking me just to recap some angle work that you would have done in grade 5 and 6. So I'm going to look at that today, and then we're going to continue with angles. Another reminder that you have access to all the previous lessons that we've done, as well as online activities and memos. So go use those, consolidate the work that we've taught, and you should be in a better place for it. Okay, so as I said, we're going to continue with the angle theme today, and then we've got our usual starters and finishers on either side of that. So let's get straight into it. There is your warm-up activity for the day. Your brains have been dormant for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, so let's get them fired up. Use your math skills to find out the value of each symbol, and then don't forget the question mark at the end. Right, press pause, and let's see how you get on. Guys, well done for working through that. So there's a couple of things that we can fill in. We know that 2 times 2 times 2 is also 2 cubed. So that is going to be equal to 8. So we can have a little 8 in there just to remind us. We should know that 10 multiplied by 10 is equal to 100. So the ice hockey goalie mask will be 10. Okay, so that means I'm going to have 10 in here. The ice skate must therefore be 2 because 10 minus 2 is 8. Okay, if my ice skate is 2, I can write that in at the top. Okay, so then my ice skate's 2, and I know that the ice skate is equal to the beanie and face mask. So 2 equals 2. So therefore, the hurling ball or the hurling ski must be 1 multiplied by 2 is equal to 2. And then it's just a case of me filling in the bottom. 10 divided by 1 multiplied by 2. That's a division sign. Okay, we know that division comes first in order of operations. So 10 divided by 1 is 10, and then multiply by the 2, and you should get 20. Okay, right, well done if you recognize those places to start, and if you manage to get your Tuesday off to a positive start. Okay, your mental maths questions for today are in front of you. 6% of half a kilogram, I'd like the answer in grams. 3 consecutive numbers adding up to 21. So remember, the word consecutive means right after each other. So 1, 2, 3 are consecutive numbers. So find me 3 consecutive numbers that add up to 21. 20 cost 8 Rand. Find the cost of 15. Find the sum of 4 multiplied by 2,45 and 54 and 2,54 times 6. A car averaged 8 kilometers to a liter of petrol on a 4-hour journey of 312 kilometers. How many liters were used on the journey, and what was the average speed? Right, give it a shot. Okay guys, let's have a look at how you got along with those mental questions. So 6% of half a kilogram is 6% of 500 grams. Okay, and to find 1%, divide by 100. Okay, and that's going to equal 5 grams. So then 6% is going to equal 30 grams because 6 times 5 equals 30. Okay, so that's your start. You could have also worked out 6 over 100 times 500 over 1. So we'll have a look at that. 6 over 100 times 500 over 1. Okay, and we could have gone 6 times 500 is 3,000. And 100 times 1 is 100. And 3,000 divided by 100 is equal to 30. Okay, so you get to the same answer, but those are your two options. All right. Okay, question 2, which 3 consecutive numbers add up to 21? And perhaps you would have had to do this via trial and error and see what worked, but you should have got 6 plus 7 plus 8. 6 plus 7 is 13, and then 13 add the 8 is 21. Okay, question 3, 20 cost 8 rand. Doesn't matter, 20 tennis balls cost 8 rand. Okay, they want us to find the cost of 15. So the first thing I'm going to do is work out the cost of 10. So that's halved. So the 8 rand must be halved. All right. Then I'll go look at the cost of 5. And again, all I need to do is halve it. Okay. And then I can work out the cost of 15 because I know the cost of 10 and I know the cost of 5. So 4 rand and 2 rand must be equal to 6 rand. Okay. Question 4, you could have worked out the individual questions, and then added them together, which is what we'll do, and then I'll show you, perhaps some of you recognized something else. So 4 multiplied by 2, 5, 4. I would have said 4 multiplied by 2 is 8, 0,5 multiplied by 4 is 2, and then the 4 hundredths multiplied by 4 is 0,16. Then I would have put them all back together, okay, and that would have given me 10, 16, so 10,16, all right. Then I could have done 6 multiplied by 2,54, and again I would have broken it up. I would have done the 6 times the 2 is 12, then the 6 times the 0,5 is 3, then the 6 times the 0,04 would have been 0,24. When I add those all together, I should get 15,24. Okay, and then all that's left for me to do is to add the 10,16 and the 15,24. All right, and you would have got 25,40 or 25,4. Okay, so that's one way to do it. You could have done those multiplication sums in a column method. That's also not a problem. You could have split them up the way I did. You could have taken the decimal out and then put the decimal back, which is another option for you. Ultimately, you would have got to 25,4. However, if you had recognized the following, if you had recognized that 4 times 2,54, so if you'd recognize 4 times 2,54 and 6 times 2,54 is the same as multiplying by 10, then you would have saved yourself a lot of time, because 10 times 2,54 just means that 2,54 gets one place bigger, and that's going to be 25,4. Okay, so that would have been if you had recognized the numbers and you'd recognized that 4 and 6 is the same as multiplying by 10. And yeah, you could have saved yourself a lot of work. So my message there is to have a look at the question that you've been asked. Look at the numbers. Don't just go ahead and do a multiplication sum because that's what you've always been taught to do. Look if there's a way that you can save yourself some time by using a mental multiplication strategy. Okay, that's what they're designed for. Then your last question, question 5. Okay, a car averaged 8 kilometers to a liter of petrol. I suppose that's average these days. On a 4-hour journey of 312 kilometers, how many liters were used on the journey? Sorry, there's a spelling error there. I do apologize. And what was the average speed? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work out if it's 8 kilometers to 1 liter, how many liters is it to 312 kilometers? So I'm going to say 312 divided by 8. Okay, so how many groups of 8 go into 312? That will tell me how many liters are left. Now, some of you might have done this like this. 312 divided by 8. Okay, and that's fine if you had. 8 goes into 31 3 times, leaves you with 7, so that's 39. Okay, now if you're not comfortable with that method, then you could have also said, right, I can halve both numbers. So remember when we halve the dividend, which is 312, and we do the exact same thing to the divisor, which is 8, then our answer will remain the same. So half of 312 is 156 divided by 4. Okay, I can halve them both again because they're both even. That's 78 divided by 2, and that equals 39. Okay, so you get to the same answer. I honestly find the halving strategy a lot easier because I'm just dividing by 2, which I'm sure we're all comfortable with. Okay, so there it uses 39 liters of petrol on the 312 kilometer journey. So how can I check that? So I can say, right, if I've used 39 liters and each liter gets me 8 kilometers, then 39 times 8 must give me 312. And I'm going to do this in a split method. 30 times 8 is 240. 9 times 8 is 72. And if I add them, I get 312. So I know I must be correct. Remember to always check your work immediately after you've done it. Okay, then they want to know what our average speed was. So if I've done 312 kilometers in 4 hours, my average speed is going to be per hour. So I need to know 312 divided by 4. All right. Okay, and how do I know if 312 is divisible by 4? So does it work that there are no remainders? Possibly. Remember, it's the last 2 digits that need to be divisible by 4. So is 12 divisible by 4? Yes, it is, 3 times. So therefore, 312 is divisible by 4. Now again, you can do that short division sum with the little box, or you could halve this number, and if you halve 312, you get 156, and then I'll halve the divisor 2. Okay, and now we should all be able to divide by 2, and that's going to give me 78 kilometers. So my average speed is 78 kilometers per hour. Okay, so guys, well done if you work through those 5 questions. They're starting to become a lot more wordy, and it's a really good skill for you to be able to learn how to figure out what is the question asking me to do, what's important, what's not important, what words can I pick out there that help me understand what calculations to do. Okay, right, so today we're going to carry on with angles. The first thing I'd like to do is just a little angle recap, and that's naming angles. So you do have different ways to name angles, and I'll go back to the Google Jamboard to explain this. So just bear with me. Okay, so there are your 3 angles. Now, it's always good to name angles using 3 letters. Okay, so in each of these examples, you can see there's more than one angle. Okay, so for A, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 angles. Okay, so I can't just use the letter O. I can't just say angle O because there are 4 angles around angle O. All right. If there was only one angle there, for example, like that, and that was labeled A, B, C, then I could say, right, that's angle B, okay, because there is only one angle there, right? And I can label it angle B, all right? So this is the abbreviated sign for angle, okay? The other important thing to notice is that I'm only using capital letters when I'm labeling my angles, okay? Smaller letters are used to label the sides. Okay, so that's just another thing to keep in mind. Right, so there I can label one angle using one letter. I could have labeled this angle A, B, C with a little roof on top of the B, or I could have said angle A, B, C. Okay, you can say angle CBA, all right, so it's not alphabetical. I just find it easier to work in alphabetical order. Okay, so for question A, you need to label the marked angle. So you can see this is the marked angle here. It's indicated by the arrows. Okay, so how do I label that? Right, so you can either say the abbreviation for angle and then MOL. Okay, so it's there. All right, MOL, or you could have said LOM. You could have gone the other way, and the other option was MOL with that little cuppy on there. O. You cannot say O. All right? You cannot just label it O because, like I already explained, there are 4 angles at point O. Right, for angle B, for the second one, okay, they want you to label the whole angle. Okay, so it's not just one of them. It's interesting here to note that angle D is actually split into 2 angles. So again, you can't just label it D. Okay, because there are actually 2 angles at D. Okay, so here you can either label it your abbreviated sign, A, D, C, or you could go CDA, and you can say ADC with that little cuppy on the top. All right, so that's naming angle B. Now I'm going to let you go and work out question C by yourself. So there you need to tell me what is the name of the angle with the dotted arrow and what is the name of the angle with the normal arrow. Right, off you go. Angle, okay, and I've put a bit of color there for you. So the green angle, you can either have the abbreviated sign and then HDF, or you could have FDH, no problem. Alternatively, you can have that little cuppy there. Okay, and then the orange angle, you will have, again, you could use the abbreviated sign, okay, EDH, or you could have HDE, or you could have EDH and the little cuppy on the middle. Most teachers will tell their students which way they want them to name it, but when there's more than one angle, you use 3 letters. I like to use it alphabetically because it just makes more sense to me. But yeah, see what your teacher has to say or what you prefer. Okay, so that's naming angles. So that's a recap from grade 5, grade 6. Then just quickly types of angles. Okay, so we know that acute angles are small angles. They're between 0 and 90. We know that, I think I've actually designed it so you can, there we go. Okay, so your acute angles between 0 and 90. Your right angle is exactly 90 degrees, and I've shown you that there's a little box in the 90 degrees, and the reason why there's that small box, which is in the shape of a square, is because all the corners of a square are 90 degrees. Okay, you have a straight line angle, which is exactly 180 degrees. Now remember, half a full revolution, which is 360, is 180 degrees, so that's why there's a semicircular shape on the straight line to indicate the 180 degrees, which is half a circle. Then you have your obtuse angle, which is between 90 and 180. You have your reflex angle, which is between 180 and 360. Okay, and lastly, you have your full revolution, which is 360 degrees. Okay. Right, that's a recap of angles from grade 5 and 6. Okay, I'd like you to go and name and classify as many angles as you can see in the shape on your screen at the moment. Okay, there are quite a few. See how many you can come up with, and I'll give you a couple of them in a minute. Press pause, see if you agree or disagree, and let me know if you disagree. Okay, and then you've also got obtuse angles, and I'll mark a few of those off. So angle UVT, that's going to be obtuse. Okay, where else have we got one? Here we've got one, angle SQP. Okay, that's going to be obtuse. Okay, guys, I think you'll get the idea. This is just a recap of grade 5 and 6 work. But please feel free to send me any questions to grade7@worksheetcloud.com. Okay, I just wanted to do a recap of angles in parallel lines because I think it's good to keep this information fresh in our memories, and this is what the new concept that you've been taught in grade 7. So go ahead and work out all the angles there. Okay, work out all the angles on the diagram on the left and the right, and then when we come back, I'll work through each of the diagram with you. Okay, off you go. Okay, guys, let's have a look at how you got on. So remember that I don't think it really matters what order you work out the angles. So I'm gonna work out this vertically opposite angle first. Okay, and that's going to give me an answer of 46 because we know vertically opposite angles are equal. Right, I'm then going to go work out these angles here because I know that they're on a straight line. So what do I add to 46 to get to 180? And that's 134. So that's 134. Okay, so your reasoning can be vertically opposite, or you could say straight line angles. Okay. Now that I have those answers worked out, I can go and use perhaps some alternate angles. So there is a Z. Okay, so that angle over there is going to be 46 because alternate angles are equal. Okay, I could use a corresponding angle if I would like to. Okay, and that there's going to be 46 because corresponding angles are equal, but also vertically opposite angles are equal. So you could have used vertically opposite there as a reason. Okay, now I can use the straight line reasoning again, and that's going to be 134, and so is that going to be 134. But like I said, you could have used multiple reasons. We could have said that those angles there, 134 and 46, are supplementary or co-interior. So yeah, it depends on where you started, what reasoning you used. But as long as you used correct reasoning that makes sense, then everything will be all right. Okay, and then the second diagram I asked you to work through. Again, I'm going to say angle Y is equal to 128 because it's vertically opposite. Okay, then I can say 128 minus 180 is 52. So that's going to be 52, and so is that going to be 52. Again, straight line or vertically opposite. This is going to be 52. Okay, because you could either say, well, that's alternate. You could have said it's co-interior or supplementary with 128. This is going to be 128, and again, you could have used alternate. You could have used corresponding. You could have used co-interior or supplementary. Then that's 52. That's 128, and same reasons as I've mentioned before. Okay, and again, when we get to the top, 128 because it's supplementary with 52. Okay, there where the lines are being drawn, that's going to be 52 because perhaps you said there's alternate angles. So we know alternate angles are equal because line AB is parallel to line PQ. then that's going to be 128 and 52. Okay, so work through those. Make sure you understand those angles. Those are the ones I can imagine you'll predominantly be asked this year, as those are the new ones. Okay, so your finisher for today is a multiplication table where you need to work out the value of each symbol. Off you go and give that a shot. I hope you're challenging someone at home, and let's see how you get on. Okay guys, so I've already filled in the values that they've given me. First thing I'm looking at is the tiger, because tiger multiplied by tiger is going to give me 25. Okay, so I know that that's going to be 5 multiplied by 5, which is going to give me 25. Then I can go and see what am I multiplying the 5 at the top by to get to 30, and that's 6 times 5 is that 30. Okay, and I'm going to use that same 6 again. What do I multiply that 6 by to get to that 48? So 6 multiplied by 8. Okay, and now I've got 2 multiplied by 8 is 16. 5 multiplied by 8 is 40. 2 multiplied by 5 is 10. 2 multiplied by 3 is 6. 5 multiplied by 3 is 15. And 6 multiplied by 3 is 18. So once you figure out a couple of the numbers, it's pretty straightforward. And then your last challenger for today is your 24 challenge. And you by now should know that you need to use all 4 numbers on each card to make 24. And you can use a range of the operational signs. You can use 1, you can use 2, 3, all of them, as long as you get to 24. And the second part of the challenge was how many different ways can you get to the number 24. Grade 7s, that's all we've got for you today. I hope that recap refreshed your memory on previous principles you should have learned in grade 5 and 6. Again, send me any questions on an email, and I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. Have a great day and catch you tomorrow.